Hello, good morning, children. Before starting a chapter, I want to show you
Alice
a
in
video.
Wonderland.
Let's watch.
It was a lazy Sunday afternoon, and Alice was bored. Her sister had promised to play with her, but was now busy reading a book. So Alice wandered outdoors and then sat under the tree. While she wondered what to do, she saw a strange white rabbit run by her.
What's that?
Oh, I'm late. I'm so late. Must hurry.
Is that a rabbit with a coat and a watch? A rabbit with a watch? That's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Alice followed the rabbit.
Hey, wait for me!
The rabbit quickly entered a hole in the ground, the rabbit hole.
Wait!
Alice crawled into the hole to follow the rabbit.
Oh no, it's so dark in here. I wonder where... Ah!
Alice suddenly started to fall. She saw all sorts of things around her as she fell, and then landed in a small hall with smaller doors around it.
Hey, stop! Oh no, the door is locked.
Alice looked around for a key.
There it is. This should work. Yes!
The door opened, and Alice saw a beautiful forest outside.
Wow! I must go there, but I'll never fit.
Alice was stuck in the hall. She didn't know what to do.
I don't know how to go back, and I don't know how to get out. Oh, someone help me.
Alice began to cry. After a while, she looked around the hall and saw that a bottle had appeared on the table.
Drink me? Maybe it'll help.
Alice drank a little and began to grow smaller and smaller.
Wait, what's happening?
Alice became so tiny, she had to swim through a pool of her own tears. She finally managed to get out.
These are strange trees. They look like flowers. Oh, they are flowers. I've become so tiny that they seem like trees.
The white rabbit found Alice walking around and became angry.
Hey, don't you see we're getting late? Go and get a pair of gloves and a fan from the house.
The house?
Yes, that one there. Hurry.
Alice ran to the rabbit's house, wondering.
Why am I taking orders from a rabbit? Let's see what's inside.
Alice entered the house and looked around for the gloves and the fan. She found them on a table along with a cake.
Do I eat it? I'll just have a bite.
As soon as Alice took a bite, she began to grow bigger and bigger till her head hit the top of the house.
Oh no! How am I going to get out of here?
Oh, what's that in my house? Help! Help!
The rabbit called a few other animals that came to help. They began throwing stones into the house.
Get out of my house!
I can't! Stop throwing stones at me!
Then Alice noticed that the stones were just tiny cupcakes. She picked one up and ate it. Soon she was shrinking. She was as small as she was before she had had the cake. She ran out of the house and did not look back.
Oh, I've been growing smaller and larger and smaller. I wish I could just be myself again.
You can be yourself again, little lady.
Alice looked around to see who was talking. It was a caterpillar relaxing on the top of a mushroom, but it seemed to be slipping off the mushroom and pulling itself back up again.
I can? But how?
Well, you can eat this mushroom. One side will help you grow bigger, and the other side will help you grow smaller.
Alice didn't know which side to eat to become her normal size again. But the caterpillar had slipped and fallen off the mushroom and was moving away.
Wait, tell me which side I should eat to grow bigger.
The caterpillar vanished, and Alice had no choice but to try both sides.
Oh, I'm smaller than I was. So this must be the piece to grow bigger.
Alice grew so big that she reached the top of a tree.
Whoa, not this big.
She began to eat a bit of both pieces until she was the right size again.
This looks fine to me. I can stop eating now.
Alice didn't know where to go from there. She kept walking and crying out for help.
Is anybody there?
Yes, my dear, I'm here.
Who's that?
Me.
And Alice saw a Cheshire cat on a tree. She had never seen a cat smile that way.
Who are you?
You are new to this land, so you must first tell me who you are.
I'm Alice. I followed a white rabbit that brought me here. How do I get out? Where do I go now?
Well, this road goes to March Hare's house. The Mad Hatter must be having his tea party there.
Mad Hatter.
Oh, yes, he is a little mad. So are all of us, and so are you.
I'm mad.
Well, you did follow a rabbit hole down here.
Alice did not like the cat and wanted to leave, so she started walking towards March Hare's house.
I'll see you at the palace with the queen.
The Queen.
The cat slowly started vanishing until you could only see his smile. Alice wondered who this queen was. She came across March Hare's house. She saw March Hare and the Hatter having tea at a long table. There was also a mouse sleeping in between them.
Sorry, there's not enough place for you.
There are plenty of empty chairs.
Very well then. Have some wine.
Wine? I don't see any wine.
Because there is no wine. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Time for a tea party.
Why did you offer me wine when it wasn't there?
Why did you join our table when you were not invited?
All right, I'll go now.
Wait! Tell me this. How can a crow be used as a writing table?
Alice thought this was a strange question and began to think.
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Time for a tea party.
But you're already having a tea party. And how many times is it going to be 6?
Oh, silly girl. Answer the mouse. How can a writing table be used as a crow?
What? That's not what the mouse asked.
Looks like she doesn't know the answer.
Do you?
No, that's why we asked you.
Oh, you're all mad. All of you. No wonder you're called the Mad Hatter. I'm going.
They all laughed as Alice walked away from the table. She then found herself in a garden filled with strange people. They looked like playing cards, and they were painting the white flowers in red.
What are you doing?
The Queen of Hearts only likes red flowers, so we must paint them all red. If she sees any white ones left, we'll lose our heads.
So this is the queen the cat was talking about.
The Queen of Hearts was here, and she looked very upset.
I said no white, only red. Guards, take them away. Off with their heads.
No, please, my queen. Mercy.
Who are you?
Alice was afraid she might upset the Queen.
I'm Alice. I was just...
Alice followed her quietly.
Someone stole my apple pies. The ones I baked in the shape of hearts.
Oh,
And we think the Jack of Spades did it. We've put him on trial.
Alice entered the court with the Queen and found a seat in the crowd. She saw all sorts of playing cards around her.
Let the trial begin.
We have our first witness, the Mad Hatter.
oh, the White Rabbit is here.
The Mad Hatter walked into the court.
Did you see the Jack of Spades steal the Queen's apple pie?
Yes, I did.
When did you see that?
At 6 o'clock.
All right, off with his head.
Wait, the Mad Hatter is always at his tea party at 6 o'clock, and that's the only time he knows. How can you trust him? He's mad.
Your Majesty, she did it. I saw her too. She is a thief.
Off with her head too.
What? Wait.
Alice was angry at everyone around her. She saw the Cheshire Cat appear in the court. He was still smiling at her. Alice realized she was growing bigger with her anger. The more angry she got, the bigger she got. All the cards began to attack her.
Stop! Stop it! Get away!
Alice, wake up.
Alice woke up from her sleep. She was lying under a tree and her sister was beside her.
Are you all right? You were having a dream.
It was all a dream? Oh, thank God you're here.
What happened?
Nothing. It was just a strange dream.
All right, let's go home.
As they walked back home, Alice thought she saw a white rabbit run behind a tree. Maybe it wasn't a dream after all.
So children, did you enjoy the video? Okay, the video, children. Can you guess why I've shown you this video? Yes, if you have read your book, if you have your English reader book, you can guess, right? Okay, so we are going to do the same chapter here, Alice in Wonderland. So I have shown you the video so that it will be better or it will be easy for you to understand the chapter. Okay, so here we will read only the chapter because we have already seen the video and I hope you all have well understood it. So the name of the chapter is same, Alice in Wonderland. It is chapter 5. Children, before starting the chapter, I would like to tell you few things. Have you seen in the video everything was imaginary? Okay, the girl was dreaming. Children, in a dream, we can do anything. We can have four hands. We can fly in the sky. Okay, we can have beautiful wings like birds. Okay, we can do whatever we wish. We can make any person an animal. Okay, so these are fictions, and on the base, on our image, imagination, or on our creativity, we can frame any story. Children, okay, it will show your creativity. So, what is the meaning of fiction? It generally is a narrative form in any medium consisting of people, events, or places that are imaginary, which you can imagine in your mind. Or, in other words, you can say it is not based strictly on history or fact. Okay, you cannot put any facts there because everything is based on imagination, right? For example, you might have seen many fictional stories. You may have read in Panchtantra also, right? There are different animals, they are going to school. Some animals are playing the role of a doctor or policeman or housewife or maid, anything. Okay, you if you don't know about Panchtantra, please search it on YouTube or internet. You will get ample stories, children. Very beautiful and nice and interesting stories. Let's see the examples of fictional stories. Cinderella, very famous story, children. Beauty and the Beast, A Christmas Carol, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Children, I hope you have seen these stories, but if you have not seen, you can easily find it on YouTube. Please check it once. Children, you will be reading Alice in Wonderland, one of the most famous children's stories ever written. The story has been retold in many versions over the years and children in many languages also in all over the countries. You will be reading the original version first published in 1865. So it was first published in 1865. Let's see what is the story behind it. Alice in Wonderland was written by Lewis Carroll. So the name of the author is Lewis Carroll. For a real girl named Alice Liddell. Children, the name is real. There was a girl named Alice. So on her name, Lewis Carroll has made a fictional story. Carol was a friend of Alice's family and would often make up stories to tell the three little daughters. Children, there were three sisters, two more sisters of Alice. So there were three little daughters. So one summer day, what happened? After a riverside picnic, the girls begged him to tell him a story. Because he was a story writer, okay, so they wanted him to tell a story. So they begged him. He began by sending Alice down a rabbit hole. Having no idea what would happen for to her next children, he just started the story through his imagination and after that he made a story. Okay, on basis of the rabbit hole. So Carol made up Alice's adventures in Wonderland as he went along, and then several years later he wrote down the story from his memory for publication. Oh wow, what a beautiful picture, children! Can you see it? Rabbit and a watch. Okay, it started with rabbit hole only because Alice first saw a rabbit. Okay, can you see? He is holding his clutching a watch. He's not wearing it, and he was saying, I'm late, I'm late." And the whole story begins with this only. So let's read the chapter once again because already you have seen it. We will just read it. So before you read, answer a few questions. Have you ever seen a rabbit talking like a human being? I have not seen, children. You may see in your dream. Okay. Just imagine, children. Close your eyes and imagine. There are many animals around you and everyone is talking, doing household works, going to school. Okay, wearing dress. How will you feel? Okay, just imagine. What do you think will happen if animals start talking? Just children, suppose your pet animals started talking. What will you feel? You will feel happy. Okay, you will also realize you get a friend. Okay, because you can talk, you can play with them. Okay, you can share your feelings. Okay, happiness, everything with your pet animals. So maybe it will be good. What a fascinating world it will be. Let's now read a small extract. Children, small extract means a part of a story. Okay, small part of a story. Adapted from Lewis Carroll's popular children's fantasy book means it is adapted from a story. Children, we have seen the video, but we will not read everything, whatever was shown in the video. We will read only a small part. Okay, let's see. Alice Adventures in Wonderland, which is full of humor. Okay, you will start laughing. Okay, it is full of laughter and magic. Warning, there is a warning also. You must leave all your logical reasoning behind before you begin reading this extract, children. Logical reasoning, okay? When you will read the story, you will, please don't think that how could this happen? How could that happen? Okay, leave all those things behind. Don't put any scientific things here. One summer day, Alice and her kitten Dina were sitting on the branches of a tree. Down below, her sister was reading aloud from a history book. So, children, in the picture, we can see clearly that Alice is sitting on the branches of a tree, and this cat, okay, this kitten, its name is Dina. It is sitting on the lap of Alice, and we can see sister of Alice is reading a history book. Okay, but Alice wasn't listening. Alice is not interested to listen any history, okay? She was dreaming of a world where cats and rabbits wore clothes and lived in little houses. So, children, she is in her own dream. Okay, her story begins from here only. It means whatever will go to happen now, or it may be a story, or it may be her only dream. She picked up dinner and climbed down the tree. Just then, a white rabbit came scuttling along. Children, what is the meaning of scuttling? It means running hurriedly or secretively with short or quick steps. He was clutching a large ball. Children, we have seen in a picture just before the slide that a rabbit was there. He was clutching a large watch. He was not wearing it. So, what is the meaning of clutching? Holding tightly. The white rabbit looked at his watch as he ran past Alice, muttering, I'm late, I'm late. What is the meaning of muttering? To say in a voice that can barely be heard. You talk or grumble in secret or in private, like in the class also when teacher is teaching and you want to say something to your friend. So what do? You say in the ears of your friend so that only your friend could listen, no other person. So you're muttering in his ear, right? Curious. Curious means here it is the curious means the strange. Okay, she's saying it's so strange. Gasped Alice. What is the meaning of gasped? It means to say something while catching one's breath. She is very curious, or she's thinking it's so strange that the rabbit is saying, I'm late, I'm late. Now she is saying, what could a rabbit possibly be late for? She is very amazed, children. Please, she cried, wait for me. Cried doesn't mean that she's crying with her tears. Here, cried means shouted. She's shouting, please wait for me. She's talking to rabbit. But the rabbit didn't stop. I'm late, I'm late. He cried. Again, children, cried doesn't mean that he is crying, okay, with his tears, but he's shouting. And then he disappeared into a large hole at the foot of a tree. He is not visible now because he has gone somewhere. Alice was very curious, children. Again, see, what is the meaning of curious here? It means eager to know or learn something. He squeezed into the dark hole and crawled after him. Squeezed means managed to get into or through a narrow or restricted space. Children, this girl is bigger. Okay, she cannot just walk into the hole because the hole is very small, narrow. So she has to crawl after him. Suddenly, found herself falling down, down, down. Luckily, her dress ballooned out like a parachute. Children, you know balloon? Okay, when you blow it, okay, it becomes big and it can float in the air. In the same way, what happened? Her frock, can you see in the picture where she is falling down? Okay, and many things she can see, chairs, this wall hangings, girl of a picture, clock. Okay, so what happened when she was falling down? Her dress ballooned out like a parachute. You might have seen in the pictures parachute, children. Okay, suppose you are using a parachute to come down from the aeroplane or helicopter. So what happened? You will not fall directly on the ground. You will float in the air and slowly and gradually you will come down into the ground. Okay. So in the same way, her frock became a balloon out like a parachute and then she began floating. Now, what is the meaning of balloon here? To swell out in a spherical shape, round in shape, and parachute means a device like an umbrella. He looked around and saw that there were all kinds of strange pictures and furniture hanging on the walls of the tunnel, like we can see here in the picture, right? At last, Alice reached the bottom. White Rabbit was just disappearing round the corner at the end of a very long corridor. So, what happened when she reached the bottom? She saw a long corridor was there. Wait, right, Alice, chasing after me. Okay, again she's shouting, please wait. And chasing means is running after Rabbit. At the end of the corridor was a tiny door, means a small door. Alice tried the doorknob. Doorknob means children the handle from which she can open the door. Okay. Eek! Cried a voice. The doorknob was speaking. Children, just imagine. Doorknob is speaking. Okay. I'm looking for the white rabbit, said Alice. Please let me through. Okay, Alice was requesting him that I am looking for white rabbit, so please let me go through here. Sorry, you're too big, replied the doorknob. Try the bottle on the table over there. Okay, now, doorknob is saying, door was very small, very tiny, and Alice was big, okay, in shape, so she cannot go inside. So the doorknob is saying, please try the bottle which is kept over there. Alice looked around and saw the bottle labeled Drink Me. What was written on the bottle? Drink Me. Alice tasted a little and soon she finished every drop, children. Maybe it was very tasty. Okay, the liquid was very tasty, kept in the bottle. Suddenly, Alice began to shrink. Shrink means she began to become small. Like you have, you know, when we wash the cotton clothes for the first time, it shrink. Okay, in the same way, Alice began to shrink. She began to become small. Soon, she became so tiny, so small that she was able to get through the little window. Little door. Now she can go inside the little door. On the other side of the door, Alice found herself on the edge of a large forest. Children, edge means maybe the beginning or the end of the forest, or edge means boundary also. But here you can say it is the beginning or the end of a large forest. She saw the white rabbit through the trees in the distance. Now, finally, she saw the rabbit. She started to run after him, but suddenly her way was blocked, stopped by two fat little men, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. My name is Alice, said Alice. I'm curious to know where the white rabbit is going. She's talking to two little fat men. Two little men began talking at the same time. Alice couldn't understand what they were saying. Maybe they are talking in some other language. Okay, she could not understand. So she decided to set off to get away, okay, in another direction. Soon she came to a little house. As she walked up the path, the white rabbit ran out of the front door. Oh, maybe it was Rabbit's house. He was now dressed in a tunic and ruff. Okay, tunic means children a small coat. You might remember in the video we have seen a white rabbit was there. He was wearing a tunic and ruff. Ruff means a small collar. Oh my, I'm late, I'm late. Children, see again he is crying, he is saying, I'm late. Then he said to Alice, go and get my gloves. Children, can you imagine? Can you tell me or can you guess where the rabbit is going? We have seen the video, you can better tell me. Children, we have seen that a queen, okay, she was checking the trial, okay. So what happened? Who was the lawyer there? Rabbit was the lawyer and he was wearing the tunic and ruff. Okay, so maybe he is going in the court of the queen. Alice was too surprised to argue and went inside the little house. She searched everywhere. Finally, she lifted the lid of a jar and found some biscuits. They looked very good to eat, so she took one. Children, there we have seen a small cake was there. Okay, and here we have red biscuits. So there are little difference between the story and the video. And it is already said that it is a small extract adapted. Okay, so there can be variations. Let's see the word meanings here. Tunic means a short coat and ruff means a kind of a collar. When Alice ate the biscuit, she started to grow and grow and grow. Soon she was so big that she was bursting out of the house. Bursting means to be so full as almost to break open. Just remember the video, children. Okay, she has ate the cake, and what happened? She grew and grew, and then her head was touching the ceiling. Her arms poked. Poked means stuck out through the windows, and her legs burst out of the door. Okay, she was so big that her hands and legs were coming out of the window and door. Okay, a monster! Cried the white rabbit. Okay, she was so big that she was looking like a monster to rabbit. So rabbit was very worried. Okay, he was very afraid, and he started shouting, "A monster! Perhaps if I find something else to eat," said Alice, "it will make me small again." She stretched out her hand and pulled up a carrot from the garden. When she ate it, she began to shrink. Okay, she was very worried because she grown up very large. Okay, she could not come out of the house now. So what happened? Hand was out of the window. So she pulled one carrot and eat it. And now again she began to shrink. Soon she was so small she could crawl under the front door. Children, in all the doors you will see there is a small gap, okay, at the bottom. So she has become so small that she could easily crawl under the front door. The rabbit pleased means he was very happy that the monster had disappeared. She has become so small that rabbit cannot see her, and he is thinking that the monster has disappeared from his house, and he ran off down the garden. Alice tried to follow him, but now she was so tiny, so small. The grass seemed like a huge forest. Children, just imagine she is so small. Okay, and there are so many grasses in the garden. Obviously, it will look like a huge forest, and she cannot chase now after the rabbit. "Who are you?" asked a sleepy voice. It was a caterpillar lying lazily on a mushroom. Now Alice met one caterpillar and is asking, "Who are you?" "I'm Alice," replied Alice, "and I wish I was a little taller." She is in a problem now. She is very sad that she is so small. So she is saying that I wish I was a little taller. Suddenly the caterpillar turned into a butterfly. Children, in your science, you have read this chapter that how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. So same thing is happening here, okay? "I can help," said the butterfly, pointing at the mushroom. "One side of this will make you taller, the other side will make you shorter." He told her that how she can become taller, but he has also confused her because if the one side she will eat, she will become taller, and if other side she will become if other side she will eat, she will become shorter. So she was also confused, children. She was not understanding what to do. And then, but the butterfly fluttered away. Fluttered means, first the meaning of stretched is extended, and fluttered means to fly unsteadily by flapping the wings quickly and lightly. Alice looked at the mushroom, trying to decide which side would make her taller because he doesn't know, children, and the butterfly also flew away. Finally, she broke off a piece from each side, okay, from both the sides, and took a large bite from one. Luckily, she had chosen the correct piece and was soon back to her normal height. Children, she is very lucky because what happens? She ate the correct side, okay, and now she has come to her normal height. She dropped the pieces of mushroom into her pocket. Okay, maybe she will take to her home and she will show to her sister. Okay, so children, it's written here adapted from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Adapted means it is just a small part. We are not reading the whole story. Okay, there are many stories after this, many imagination. Okay, so this story gets over here. Let's read something about the story more. Lewis Carroll, he was born in 1832 and died on 1898. He was a notable English writer of children's fiction like Alice, Adventures in Wonderland, and its sequel, Through the Looking Glass. Children, I think everyone has seen Bahubali. Part 1 and part 2. So part 2 was the sequel of part 1 in the same way. Through the Looking Glass is the sequel of Alice Adventures in Wonderland. You will find here also that there is a glass. She has gone inside the story, something like this. Please check on the YouTube. It is very interesting. Lots of imagination and creativity is there. You will really enjoy it. Just go to the YouTube, type Through the Looking Glass, and you will get. And his real name was Charles Ludwig Dodson, and he was also an extraordinary mathematician. See, children, I can show you the picture here. He is Lewis Carroll. Let's read one more thing for extra information. Often writers write under an assumed name or pen name. What is the meaning of pen name? It means an assumed name used by a writer instead of their real name. Okay, Lewis Carroll's real or Christian name was Charles Ludwig Dodson, but what was his pen name? His pen name was Lewis Carroll. Okay, he has kept his name as Lewis Carroll. So children, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you have enjoyed the explanation of the chapter. Okay, if you want to see more stories, more fictional stories, different kinds of stories to enjoy, okay, please go to the YouTube. You will find ample number of stories, children. Thank you and have a nice day.